I got that. And then as I kind of sneak around over here, what you'll see, hopefully down here, if I can get this out of the way, sorry about that, is down here. I don't know if I can really, there you go, you can see that. That is a battery cutoff switch. That's a military battery cutoff switch, or power interrupt switch. And so that way I can go ahead, and if it's not being driven, or if I'm working on the electrical system, I can completely isolate the battery from the rest of the truck while I'm doing what I'm doing. So you just flip it over to the off, put it on to the on, and now you got full power in the truck. It's a good, like I said, a good idea again if you're not driving your truck for a period of time. Even though there's really no systems on, you're still sending power through the whole truck. Again, if you want to isolate it, this is really easy to do. And I went ahead and added the on-off tag to make it easier to know which way is on or off. And another thing I ended up doing was I had a custom stencil made, and then I sprayed it right there, battery cutoff. So that way you know that's what's behind there. One thing about this little hole here with this grommet is that when you install the courtesy light, the very tip of this does hit the metal right there. In fact, that's how you go ahead and mark and drill the hole for the grommet, is you actually install this first and then close the door, and the very tip of this will hit the metal and should leave a little mark, and that's where you know exactly where the center is. And then you can drill that out and put the grommet, so that when the door closes, it's not sitting against the metal, it's sitting against the grommet itself, so that it doesn't get scratched up, and it also closes the door because it gives it just about a 1/4 inch or so of space for it to fit into. And it worked, again, that worked really well. So that's what's going on with that. I'm going to go ahead and go around to the driver's side, and then we'll start to cover that. Oh, if you notice this, another thosemilitaryguys.com item. You can get this in black or the green color, and it's magnetized so that you can just kind of place it wherever you want. I had it on the door, but a lot of times I have it right there on the glove box, sitting there like that, so that it's another place to go ahead and put drinks or whatever, because that's an issue when you got one of these trucks. Obviously you don't have any quote cup holders. So this is a nice little feature to have, and it works pretty good too. And those magnets are pretty strong. There's a whole bunch of them on the back. There's 6 of them, I believe, fairly large, and they hold that on really good, even if you're off-roading and it doesn't move. All right, so let's go around to the other side of the truck and let's see what I did over here. All right, so again, what you'll find is another courtesy light. I went ahead and it didn't have the stencils. I bought a whole set, and of course that says, drain your air tanks daily, of course. And over here on this side, it didn't have this either, which is the emergency brake caution. And here's one of those little grommets, guys, for the courtesy light. So let's going to talk real quick about the emergency brake. So obviously the emergency brake, or parking brake is what they call it, this came with this switch here, which I don't know, I mean, it's there, but I don't know how it would have been indicated on the dash panel. There we go. Now you can buy these switches, again, eBay has these. I've seen these on eBay, and so if you have an emergency brake and you want to go ahead and put on something to let you know whether it's up or down or not, this helps a lot. Now that might sound silly. You might think, oh, why on earth do you need to do that? I can't tell you how many times I have got in the truck and started to drive away, and my parking brake was on and I forgot about it. Dozens. So what I ended up doing was, since I had this switch here and it wasn't hooked to anything, I went ahead and did this instead. So on this part of the dash, you'll notice, actually this kind of highly modified, this part is this brake light. Now this is a standard brake light. I think even like Humvees and things come with these lights already. So I went ahead, again, another eBay thing. I bought the brake light and ended up connecting it up to that switch, so that when I turn the ignition on, that if I have it, the parking brake up, this light's on, it tells me, oh my goodness, you know, I need to put that down, put it down, the light goes off. Again, one of those things that seems really simple, but I mean, even to this day, I still forget that that brake's on, and that light's really nice to have. As you can also tell, this is the heater controls. I have a hot water heater, and normally they hang on a little bracket right about here with maybe a switch on the dash. It just looked really sloppy, and I know that's the way it comes as far as the kit. And I just said, you know what, I can do better. And I moved all the switches up to this right here. And I think it looks a lot cleaner. It's not hanging underneath here, and you're good to go. Another thing that might seem kind of trivial, but actually is really a thing, is I also added this. This is a heater light. It's got a little flame in the center of that. It's orange. And what I ended up doing was I ended up connecting this up to the heater switch, so that when I turn it on, that light comes on, so that I know that the heater is on. Now you might think, oh, come on, are you going to turn the heater on? You know it. Well, I'll tell you what, if you've driven these trucks, you know how loud they are. You can't hear anything, let alone a little motor blowing air in. And the heaters aren't exactly the best in these things anyway. So you might be running that heater and not even know that it's on during the winter because you're not really feeling a whole lot of heat. Well, you know what? That'll never be a problem again if you get one of these little lights here hooked up to the system, because as soon as it's on, it's nice and bright orange. Another one of those indicators, oh, I got my heater on, you know, turn it off. I did have to run a relay though to make this work, because this is a high-low switch, and so there's two positions, and you need to isolate each position because it runs power through each one of them away from each other. You can't combine them and just connect that to the light. So I had to get in this case I got two relays. I should have gotten a double pull, double throw relay, but I had a single pull, single throw relays already, so I just used two of them and wired them together so that regardless of whatever way the switch is either on high or low, that light comes on and you're good to go. So that's another nice little handy dandy feature. I installed the electronic lighting controls instead of the standard mechanical switches. These can be pretty expensive. I've seen them for $300 to $400. I'll tell you, I didn't pay even close to that. I got a very nice deal from someone on this. It was new, and at first I thought, man, it's not going to be a big deal. This is so sweet. I can't even tell you how nice this thing is. And it's still military, and it's still legit, although it's not historically accurate. But boy, I tell you, if you're going to drive this thing, highly recommended to get one of these. It's literally a bolt-in operation. You undo the harness from the old one, you connect the new one, you bolt it, and then you're done. And there's no programming, anything. It's all ready to go. Very, very sweet. Very, very nice. Highly recommended. And you can see over here on this side that here's the ignition switch. Again, this is keyed to the doors. I added the little on-off thing so you know what's going on there. And the switch is really sweet. It's got two positions: accessory, run, and actually three, and start. You can get these with a 4-wire setup. This is a 3-wire. The 4th wire, I'm not sure what the 4th wire is for, but you can get them that way as well. Another thing I ended up doing here on the dash, and this is something that I know a lot of you hate, is the buzzer. The low air buzzer that just buzzes and buzzes, drives you crazy. Well, they make a kit here with this light that takes the place of the buzzer, and it's literally, you just take out the buzzer and connect the light to where the buzzer was connected, and what happens is, as soon as the air pressure sensor gets to 60 to 65 psi, it turns off, this light goes off, and there you are. You're done. No noise, and yet you still have an indicator showing whether or not you have low air or not, or what's going on with that. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Another thing I ended up doing was, this is actually orange. It comes red with a red indicator, but I ended up getting orange light covers, and but they're just the light part itself, or the clear plastic part. So it's orange clear plastic. It didn't come with the cap, so I had to remove the cap from an old one. I sanded it up, repainted it, and then clipped it onto the new orange lens, and And there you go. So now it looks nice and stock. It does come with a sticker with the kit.